So many people are excited about living in Nicaragua.
And it's the job of the NicaTour Group to serve the interests of those relocating or retiring in Nicaragua.
Let's learn more.
I am the managing partner of a firm that has been in the market for about 12 years, but we have opened a new division for international investment. I've worked in litigation and real estate most of my professional career, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have that are legal. Thank you.
Been living in Nicaragua full-time. We're in our 7th year now living here full-time, but we've had property here since '99, and I've been basically doing title research with the help of attorneys such as Sergio Corrales. We've done a lot of different things for people. We help them find the resource they need if they want to find out about retirement here, getting a retirement visa, if they want to buy a piece of property or even rent and they want somebody to look at the contract, because oftentimes they're in Spanish. We can help translate, but we can also refer them to people like Sergio Corrales. We help people with getting car insurance, with homeowners insurance. We coordinate with Arlen for the health insurance benefits that you get from the hospital, which she'll talk about. So we do a lot of coordination, basically. We basically help people find the right resources.
We've lived here permanently for 8 years, visited for 5 years before that. We were like many of you, we've traveled all over the world. Knew we were going to retire overseas. We kept coming back to Nicaragua, which we moved down here. We became very involved in the community. So I have a website to help expats that are thinking about moving here. We're not experts, but we'll give opinions on everything. We also have a Nica Nuggets, the community newsletters. So we help a lot of NGOs, we help a lot of individuals. We just give our opinions because we know a lot about living down here.
We've moved to Granada, Nicaragua, which we enjoy immensely. It's got a great expat community, but it's living in the community that makes it very special as far as living with your neighbors and getting to know everybody. I started an art studio there. I am in my 7th year of having the art studio, so I teach painting classes to adults, tourists, and children. And it's been a nice home away from home, and it gives me the opportunity to meet just about anybody who comes through Granada.
I came here 3.5 years ago, and when people ask me, why do you live in Nicaragua? Do you have a husband here or a job here or so? Then I say no, because I like it here. So I have a job that I can take with me, a portable one. I work over the internet for a Canadian company, and this allows me to live wherever I want. And so I looked into many different countries. I actually also have a website about it, a website about best countries to retire, which is on my business card that I distributed. And Nicaragua was one of the countries I looked into, and it was very similar to other, like I compared it to Panama, to Costa Rica, to Ecuador, to Uruguay, to Malaysia as well, so one country in Asia. And at the end, it was really the people that made the difference in Nicaragua. So I met actually my cop and his wife over the internet, and they were very helpful, very friendly, and Carol helped me a lot when we came here. She drove me around in her car to help me find a place to rent and everything, and introduced me to the Girl Scouts, because I have a daughter, 12 years old, so my situation is a bit different. I needed to live somewhere where there's also a good school. That's why I chose Managua, the capital. And then also the people from the school were actually also really nice. It was so personal, and you could feel they want you to come. They themselves like being here, and they want you to also come to this country. Whereas from Panama or Costa Rica, I was kind of disappointed about the reactions from the schools, for example, that I got there. So yeah, if I had to say what I like best about Nicaragua, it's the climate. I just love it that it's warm every day here. And then probably the people.
and I've been here in Nicaragua for about 10 years off and on. And I lived here in 2005 for almost a year. Decided that my short version of my story is I ended up buying some property down at the beach around 2004, and then I decided, well, I may be retiring in Nicaragua. I really enjoyed it, but my Spanish wasn't as great as it should have been, and I decided I was going to live in Managua and rent a little studio apartment and enroll myself at the University of Central America in my Spanish courses. There was a plumber who came by the neighborhood in Belo Horizonte, and he said, "Hey, I've got a property that you may be interested." He's talking to my landlady. My landlady said, "Well, I'm not interested, but I have a gringo here who may be interested." And sure enough, he was right. He had a beautiful property, and I ended up deciding to buy that. So moved over here, and then about a year went by, and I said, geez, I got to do something with myself. And I always thought, well, maybe this place would be decent for a bed and breakfast as the location, and there's so many benefits to it, being technically in the city limits, but feeling like you're totally out in the country. It's a working farm, so it's very quiet, and it's a fresh environment. But it's 10 minutes away from the Galleria, so if you want to go to sushi and go see a brand new movie in a very nice theater, it's right there for you. So I really decided for myself that having the amenities and all the cultural aspects, the restaurants, getting to know different people, that Managua was a good choice for me.
Again, we at Grand Pacifica and ECI Development, that's our parent company, ECI, we develop real estate here in Nicaragua and other countries of the region as well. And it really is important to see this whole region as an opportunity for folks who are looking to retire overseas, live overseas. And Nicaragua is very, very special to me. Our company works in 4 countries today, and we'll be in Ecuador at the end of April with the 5th country that our company develops communities in. But when I came to Nicaragua in 2002, our expected time frame was probably 2, 3, maybe 4 years. I moved here with my wife and my one daughter, who was 2 at the time, Amanda, Carol, my wife, Amanda, my oldest daughter. And we really thought we'd be here for a couple, 3, maybe 4 years to get the Grand Pacifica project started. And one of the things that we've always talked about was the quality of life, and that's why people would come. I think there are a couple reasons people look at the region. One is to run from something, and there are conferences where folks are angry about what's happening in the United States and Canada. And then there are conferences where people talk about the joys and the wonderful reasons that people want to move to Latin America. And we tend to stay on the positive side when we can, because there are just so many wonderful things about living in this part of the world. And we've been talking about it for many, many years. I started working in Belize originally in 1994, so this is now 2 decades that I've been working in the region. And I always saw Latin America as a place that I would probably end up, but I never really understood how or why. And so we came here in 2002, we got the Grand Pacifica project started, and by 2006, my wife had a second daughter, so we now have 2 daughters, and at the time they were 6 and 2. And I remember going out to dinner with her. We actually still own a home outside of Washington, D.C., and it's in a little college town, so it rents, it stays rented, it's not a big deal. And so back in 2006, we'd been here for 4 years. We'd hired a chief operating officer, we'd hired accountants, marketing team, engineers, architects, everybody we needed to run the business. And my wife and I went out to dinner, and we took a piece of paper and we drew a line down the middle, go back to the U.S., stay in Nicaragua. And we just started making lists of many things that we could think of, and then we'd put it away for a while, and we'd just eat dinner and talk, come back, and, oh yeah, there was that thing and this thing. And what was amazing at the end of this dinner was that we'd flipped over to the other side of the page for the Stay in Nicaragua column, and we had about that many on the Go Back to the U.S. column. And we really tried to be honest about it and list everything. And there were dumb little things. This is back in 2006, but you couldn't get fresh berries. You couldn't get fresh strawberries. You couldn't even at the time get frozen raspberries and blueberries and stuff like that. So we put strawberries and raspberries down on the Go Back to the U.S. list. And we had say mangoes, papayas were on the Stay in Nicaragua list, right? And calalas or passion fruit, whatever you want to call them, right? So we just had anything we could think of. It was this brainstorming session. And then we went back through and we put little stars next to anything that was important. And the only thing that was important on the Go Back to the U.S. side was family. And there were tons of things because on the other side, but let me stay on the family thing for a second because it was really interesting because on the family side, then we examined it a little further and we said, geez, you know what? We see our families 2-3 times a year anyway. That's about how many times we'd see my family because they didn't live close. Her family actually lived about 30 miles away, and we'd see them once in a while for a quick little hit and miss kind of stuff. Oh, it's a dinner, it's drop something off, or see them real quick. But when we were seeing them when we lived here, what we were doing is we were spending a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks of very high quality time together. And our analysis was that we actually felt like we had more quality time with our families living overseas than we did when it was just sort of a hit and run kind of just up in and out. So for us, we came here to do a job. We've stayed because we love it. And again, I could live in the United States, I could live in Belize, Costa Rica, Panama, or Ecuador. I could live anywhere really to do my job. But Nicaragua grabbed us at a heart level, my wife and I, and we've made Nicaragua our home. And quite honestly, I can't see us moving back to the States really ever. I just don't see it. We love it here, and I think we're going to stay.
Moving to Nicaragua seems much easier now.
It sure is, and with people like this there to help you every step of the way.
NicaTour Group is led by its founder and president, Tanya Hartel. It was her vision to help others to come to this wonderful country.
Tanya and her staff can help you with a variety of needs, including retirement, all-inclusive vacation packages, medical tourism, real estate tours, even flights.
Let's take a look at the website. www.NicaTourGroup.com is your one-stop to all doors that lead to Nicaragua. On this website, you will find helpful categories that can answer questions and give general introduction to starting your new life in Nicaragua. Scroll down the page. You will find incredible opportunities, amazing savings, and valuable updates reminding you when is your next opportunity to meet the experts. And this information seems never-ending. You will find many pages with lots of topics to explore. And if you have any questions, call us toll-free. Find us on Facebook or Twitter. NicaTour Group.